Hello, hello you people in YouTube land. How do you do? Yep. Forest. Yes, we are going for another adventure, a Getting Lost adventure, where we're going to visit a forest, a park actually. Yep, we're here early in the morning because why not? Let's beat the crowd here and let's see what we can see in the morning, even though it's not too early. Hopefully I'm here at the right time.
So the place we're heading to, well, the original place doesn't exist, but the place we're heading to now was only opened in 2019 and it's somewhere inside here, up here actually. So the original place, when it existed, this road beside me on the right here didn't exist. It wasn't built yet. So the area we're heading to now is called Thomson Nature Park. And inside Thomson Nature Park, there's an old Hainanese village. And in the past, when the village was around, or when it started, this road wasn't built yet. The main road that people used to get to this village, they used to take the old Upper Thomson Road. Yes, that was the old road that they used to take to get there. And now you have this road here, which is on my right, and the area, the plantations, the farms, all that used to be in there now is covered back or has been recovered back by the forest. It's now a secondary forest. And so we are walking along this road here, which is Upper Thomson Road. Of course, the road is a live firing range. The army uses it, so do not go in there. But you can actually go up ahead. As you can see this sign here, Thomson Nature Park. This is where we're going to. Yes, this place here. And this place here is, the park is adjacent to the Central Catchment Nature Reservoir. And inside this park, there used to be a former Hainan Village where people used to live there. They started to live there in the 1930s, and in the 1980s, they was how do I say this? They were slated to move someplace else, so the government moved them into probably HDB flats, and then this place was left abandoned. So now, the national parks made it into a 50-hectare park, and that's why we're going in there. And we're going in here and see what we can find in this place here, Thomson Nature Park. So for those of you who are driving here, there's a small car park on my right, a small car park on my left, and another small one right ahead up in front there. So let's head across, let's head to the top there, let's head to the entrance. One pro tip for you who's coming here, there's only one public toilet in this whole park, and it's at the entrance. So if you do need to go, just go before you enter the park. Yes, so here's the entrance. On my left, there's a small little elevated platform that you can look at the trees. But since there are tall trees here, you can't really see much. I do not know why you want to go there. Yep, you can take this pathway to go there. This is the map of the place. And over here is where the toilet is. So, if you need to go, there's also a water fountain. You need to fill up your water bottles. You can do it here. Empty your bladders or whatever things you want to empty. And then you can start on your hike into the park. I think you're not able to go in there with any wheeled vehicles like bicycles or skates and stuff. It's actually a hiking or jogging park. So, entrance here. That's more the car park. We're going to go down that direction. Yep, over there. Heading towards the trees. And the first remnants of the former Hainan village is this place here, which is a bench. Very old, very well used. And so, let's get started.
So which trail shall I take? The ruins and fig trail, which is unique, or the stream and ferns, which I'm sure other parks also have streams also have ferns, but this park has ruins. Okay, so let's go this way then. The sun is coming up, but I've been up earlier than the sun. Could this be the foundation of a place that used to be here? Could that have been a house where I'm walking across now because there are bricks? There was a wall. Or could this have been a road? This was most probably a road. And as you can see, the secondary forest has grown in quite nicely here. So this area here in the past could have been houses that have been demolished. It could have been farms. Most likely a farm. Because this is the main road. So probably you will have houses along the road. This is called Jalan Pelita, one of the roads in this old village. Let's walk and see what else we can find here. Maybe we can find some ruins, remnants of the old kampong that used to be here, the old Hainanese village. You can see a brick wall here. The brick wall goes quite a distance from there all the way to the side. It could have been one of those things to stop soil erosion, but there was probably a house in there somewhere. That's why they built this brick wall. Tiles, normally used for toilets. There could have been a toilet here. More ruins on this side here. Bricks. Tiles on the floor.
So in the plot of land we just walked past, there used to be two families that stayed there. The Ho family and the Tan family. They actually shared this plot of land, pooling their resources so that they can do farming and support each other, especially since supposedly their main breadwinners, the men in the family, were actually seamen and they had to leave their wives and go to the sea. So the two families lived together in that compound. So in the villages, what happens is a lot of times the village people will grow fruit trees in their property, on their property, to provide them with fruits which they can eat or sell. So in kampongs or in villages in Southeast Asia, a lot of times you find rambutan trees, sometimes even cempedak trees and durian trees. Yes, so it's quite common to find these trees in kampongs. And if you go to an area that's an abandoned kampong where the kampong used to be, most likely you'll find such fruit trees growing in the secondary forest.
Since I came here in the morning, it's still a bit cooling here, but I must admit it is also a bit humid.
In this village there are two main roads. One is called Lorong Pelita, which means something like oil lamp in Malay, and another is called Jalan Belang. Jalan Belang means, Belang means stripe in Malay, because in the past there used to be tigers in the area, but unfortunately they were killed off. They are extinct now. The Singaporean tiger is extinct. So in front of us now is another abandoned place, abandoned house, or ruins of one. So in this place here, this house used to be owned by the Wong family. It was house number 42. So what happens was, the original owners of this place was a Hainan family that migrated to Singapore from the Hainan Islands in 1939. So they traveled by junk via Hong Kong to Vietnam and finally reached Singapore. This journey in the past took several months long, and it was arduous, and living conditions on the boat was very harsh. But the head of the family managed to save up. And as you can see from here, the foundation or the brick wall that holds back the land from soil erosion here, it is quite long. And also we see another example of a brick road. So I suspect that a lot of the roads along this village was paved with bricks. And you can see the brick makers stamp there.
So it seems like a lot of those roads in front of the houses may have paved the roads with bricks, so that during raining time, you know, if you have a muddy road, it'll be hard to move on the road. But if you pave it with bricks, it will not be so muddy. I guess that is the theory, the village theory, the Hainanese village theory, maybe. It's a nice day for a walk today. Just that there are a bit of mosquitoes around. But what do you expect? You are in a village. We are actually in Singapore. So in Singapore, one of the things is there are monsoon seasons. And during the monsoon, it rains a lot. So it's important for you to place some embankment or something against, you know, places where water flow. You know, very easy for there to be landslides. So that's why you see a lot of the bottom of their houses, you know, or of their area, they will support it with a brick wall, so that the water will not wash away your foundation, your house, you know, your land, whatever you have, your garden, whatever this you have. Or at least that's my theory. You know. Oh, there's another place here. Let's see what it is. It looks like an outhouse, a toilet. There's a drain here, and then you see on top there is a what looks like a toilet with pipes. Yep. Don't forget, this place was only abandoned in the 80s, so they did have modern facilities here. Like toilets, more trails. This is for the ruins and fig trail. Ooh. Down that way is the stream. Let's look at the stream first, then we come back and continue in the ruins. So this is one of those streams that are running through this area here. If you are doing farming, a stream is very useful for you to get water for your agricultural goods. Look at this. Okay, let's head back to our ruins trail, ruins and fig trail.
One thing I also noticed is that a lot of the houses here are built on a hillside. So to prevent the house from being swept away by the soil, what they did was they actually built a lot of what you call retaining concrete walls or brick walls that hold back the terrain to provide a firm foundation for the house to be stable. And because of that, they were able to build their houses along the hill slopes here. And this place here is a example of that. This place used to be owned by the Fu family, and the Fu family migrated from Wenchang County on Hainan Island. With no formal education, the owner of this property found work as a bartender and waiter, and later he bought this piece of land to give his family a means of livelihood and hope for raising a family. Okay, the reason why I know all this is because when you're walking around, you see a lot of plaques near the site, which explains about all the people who used to live here. And also, you can see this is also a well. So if you go past a lot of these structures, each family used to have their own well to provide them with fresh water. What you see here is a tree that has grown up tall. I suspect this tree cannot be more than 40 years old. You know why? Because the houses here were abandoned in the 1980s. And this pathway here, with the stairs here, is probably the entrance to the Fu family's house. So you can see the containing wall over there, and there's also another more decorative wall. So the house would have stood behind that decorative wall. And probably the wall or the house was made of wood. And that's why you don't see any structures remaining. Because in our tropical weather, if your house is made of wood, it don't, especially open to the elements like it is now, it won't last long. And it probably either it was demolished or it has rotted away in the jungle. So this tree, where people used to walk past to go to the Fu family house, would not have been able to have grown when people were walking around here. So as you're walking around, you'll notice a lot of interesting, you can see ruins or retaining walls against in the distance. What is advisable is to walk on the designated walk paths. Do not walk inside here, walk past the barrier, because you could destroy young saplings that are trying to grow up. You may disturb the area. Animals would be disturb the food source of the animals living in this area here. So it's better just to stay on the footpaths and observe the paths through from here, and you can see all the interesting things from here. It's better this way.
Yep, lots of forest here, secondary forest, a few ruins here and there. I am finding lots of wells. I guess wells were well built, meant to last, and so you're seeing a lot of them around. Whereas the houses that people stayed in, not so much. Maybe concrete. Probably there's a house there somewhere. This is the front, the road led up to here. Probably the driveway next to the house which is here. Maybe.
And also one more thing, as I was walking around, I did notice on the ground there are some rotted husk of rambutan the skin. So I suspect that up ahead here there are a lot of rambutan trees, meaning that there used to be a house nearby, and the probably monkeys or squirrels or some kind of other birds would have been eaten the rambutans, and then the skin all fell down onto the ground. Yep, so there are probably rambutan trees and even durian trees somewhere in there. I don't really see any durian trees, but durian trees normally are quite tall, and the leaves of the durian tree, the leaves, looks a bit dusty, but they are not actually dusty, it's just the coloring. So yeah, interesting place to visit. And lots of trees and a lot of pathways to walk, some of them uphill, some of them downhill. I know I'm here in the morning, but why are cockroaches crowing? It's not that early in the morning, it's not dawn. I noticed one thing about cockroaches, they do crow whenever they want to, it's not exactly in the morning that they crow. Anyway, let's head down here because I see that there is a very interesting ruins up ahead. Here, the walls seems to be made of probably brick, and that's why it is still standing. It hasn't been fully reclaimed by the forest. You can still see the walls here. You can still see that each of those walls is one separate room. Can you see that? Oh. So I would assume that the people who could build their houses using brick would be more well off than those people who have their houses made from wood. I would assume. Most likely that's true. And then down here, there looks to be like there's another small little hut, a small little brick building, most probably a toilet. Because toilets are a bit smelly, so you do not want them too close to your main house. Either that or there is another structure, another house further down that way. And there could be another toilet up there too, nearer to the house, to the main house. As you can see the structure, you can still see it through the trees there. Oh, and look, this looks like the main entrance. So this is the stairs. Head up there. That door is probably the main door of the house. And this house here is just right beside the hill. And as expected, you can see that there's actually a retaining wall below me here to help to hold back the soil, so that when it rains, the soil doesn't get swept away, and your house also doesn't get swept away together with the soil. And you can see more of the walls as you get closer to it. This is just so interesting, isn't it? And you can still see the wall from here of the house. So this house here was quite huge, quite big. That means that quite a big family lived here. Anyway, let's head down away from here and let's see what else we can find. But that will have to wait. Yes, have to wait for our next video coming up tomorrow. So I hope you enjoyed this adventure here at Thomson Nature Park. It's definitely very nature, and also a park, and also an abandoned former Hainan village. So it's a very interesting place. A place that you have to come and explore. Not only can you find interesting wildlife, you can find interesting history, you can find interesting plants, you can find history. That's one of the things that a lot of other parks do not have, the history a lot of other parks are not built on a former Hainan Village with abandoned buildings for you to see and explore. So come here, come down and have a look. And as per usual, you know what to do. Like, share and subscribe. I got Patreon, I got PayPal, support me on those. And lastly, but the most important thing, the thing that you have to do is to join me for my next adventure. I will see you all around. And if you are bored, I got lots of old videos. Check my playlist. I visit a lot of food centers in Singapore, eat the food and tell you what's good.